Hi, welcome. Today we will analyze one of the best games that ever been played. So I'm talking about two real legends, two prodigies. So playing with white, we have Bobby Fischer, and playing with black, Mikhail Tal. So what happens when you put Bobby Fischer playing with Mikhail Tal? Well, destruction. This happens. Destruction. So let's go to our video. I will talk a lot about Mikhail Tal because Tal has won this game. And later on another video, I want, of course, to talk about Bobby Fischer and we will analyze one of his best games. So let's jump to our video. But before that, did you know that almost 87% of the viewers isn't subscribed? I need you. I need you right now. I need your help because I don't know. I don't know why don't you like me because I'm a great person. My goal is to help you. So don't you want my help? So please help me, subscribe. And to do this is free. You just need to click on the button, a red button, I think. If you want to see all the contents, every day I put a new video about chess, of course. So you can always push the notifications on. And if you're enjoying this video and the content, please push the like button. And I need help with ideas, suggestions, and if you see any mistake, anything you weren't enjoying, please tell me on the comments or talk with me by chess.com because I will be extremely grateful. So let's jump. Don't forget, subscribe, please. So let's go. When we talk about Bobby Fischer and Mikhail Tal, we talk about two real legends, and today I will talk more about Mikhail Tal because he has won this game, and Mikhail Tal was 22. On the next year, he became world champion, and he was born at Latvia. On those days, Latvia were from the Soviet Union, and he became a grandmaster in 1957 with 21 years old. On those days, this was incredible. And from the beginning, he was always seen like a prodigy, a player with the capacity to be world champion. And this happened because in 1960, with just 20 years old, he defeated Botvinnik, and he became, on those days, the youngest world champion in history. But it's a shame. Later, on the rematch, he has lost the title to Botvinnik, and he never won again the world title. So he is known like the magician of Riga, and he had a pretty aggressive style with lots of combinations, sacrifices, and his style was unorthodox. So he was very creative. So later he has won multiple Soviet championships, but it's a shame that his life has been marked by the alcohol. So he will pass away too young because of alcohol-related problems. So with 55 years old, he has died because of a renal failure. I think it's correct, the English. So it's a shame because he had so much to give to chess, and yes, be careful with the alcohol and drugs and this kind of stuff. This doesn't make well to a person. So let's go to our game. So about this game, Well, this game has been played on the Soviet Union, and the tournament was the candidates. So Mikhail Tal was playing with black, and Bobby Fischer was playing with white. Again, Fischer with 16 years old. So later, I think 12 years later, Fischer became world champion, and Mikhail Tal 1 year later became world champion because he has won this tournament, this candidates, and in 1959 and in 1960 he became world champion, winning Botvinnik. So about the game, well, this game is one of the craziest games that I ever seen because I don't know. Probably if I was playing with black, I would die with a heart attack or something like that because Bobby Fischer will attack with everything he has, and of course this is Sicilian. So one curiosity, Mikhail Tal was always kidding with Bobby Fischer about the Karokan. So he almost played c6, and then he lost and played c5 because, of course, Mikhail Tal playing the Karokan. No, never. So this continued with knight f3, d6, d4, pawn takes, knight takes, and we have a pretty normal game. So we are seeing the open lines against the Sicilian, and after knight f6, knight c3, a6, we are seeing the Najdorf. So here, Bobby Fischer has continued with bishop c4. Bishop c4, of course, is playable. This is Bobby Fischer, even though he had 16 years old. With 15 years old, Fischer was already the youngest on those days, the youngest grandmaster of the planet. So he was grandmaster. Of course, c4 cannot be a problem. But in my opinion, probably bishop g5 or another kind of ideas. Bishop e3 even is more simple in my opinion, because when you play bishop c4, okay, e6, and he's already losing tempos because of the fact that black wants to play b5, and I don't know, b5, b4. This will happen in the game, and he will need to lose a pawn, and the game will be completely nuts. So after e6, bishop b3, losing a tempo, black will play b5. And the thing is, okay, he will play f4. The normal persons do castle kingside or even f3 to guarantee that the pawn won't fall. But Fischer wasn't a normal guy because he was Fischer. So he played f4. And after f4, okay, he is Fischer and black is Mikhail Tal. So, okay, let's attack b4. And you need to be prepared because it's very violent, because here, of course, we have two hypotheses. One is to play knight to a4, and the other one is to play knight to e2. Fischer has played knight a4 with ideas at long term of playing bishop e3 and try to create pressure on b6. I think the idea was that. And of course, Mikhail Tal will complicate a lot. But just to show, if he had played the knight here, of course, bishop, castle, kingside, knight takes, and bishop e3. And the fish considers this position completely playable. So this is not a problem. So after knight a4, this will continue with Mikhail Tal winning a pawn, because yeah, if I can take, I'm going to take because I want to attack. And of course, Fischer will do the castle kingside. And after that, okay, the most normal idea is just to play the knight back because we are winning by one pawn. And okay, if you play correctly the defensive moves, you will have a better game because you're winning by material. But yes, this is Mikhail Tal. So g6, and let's see what happens. And what will happen is an avalanche of pawns and everything by Bobby Fischer, because here he will advance f5. And the thing is that f5 is move that the fish recommends because it's too aggressive. The thing is that, okay, imagine if I ignore playing bishop g7, f takes e, and okay, I'm going to lose a pawn. So this means that I'm forced to take an action about this pawn. And of course, if I take with this pawn, probably I will have problems because the knight will take on f5. Fischer was thinking about that. And after bishop takes, okay, queen d5, and probably you're going to lose something because Fischer has given up 4 points, but will win 5. So, and the king of Mikhail Tal is on the center, but this will happen on the other variants too. So this is completely amazing stuff. And the thing is that, okay, Mikhail Tal thinks that, okay, if I take with this pawn, the ideas for the white are pretty aggressive. So I need to take with g. And he has taken with the g pawn. And now, okay, Bobby Fischer will sacrifice the knight. These were two computers playing chess. So Stockfish, no. Bobby Fischer, Leland, no. Mikhail Tal, they played a lot. And after knight takes, important. It's complicated to take because of the ideas that we were talking about. Because, well, after queen to d5, it's very complicated to play this for a human. If you put on the engine will give half point for white. So the computers say that this position is playable for black. But in my opinion, it's pretty impossible to play this position. So here, Mikhail Tal will play a different way. Because, okay, right now he is winning by 1 pawn. He doesn't need to be attacked by all ways. Because, okay, we aren't talking about Petrosian. We are talking about Mikhail Tal. So Petrosian likes to defend. Tal likes to attack. So we need to think about open positions and aggressive positions, dynamic play. So here he has think, in my opinion, in a correct idea. Rook to g8. What is the idea? It's quite simple. He wants to put the rook on an open file. And when he does that, he can later create pressure with bishop b7 attacking on h2, g2, sorry. So here, Bobby Fischer will need to play correctly. And, well, he will do a very dynamic move. And that's the part of the game that I probably would die from an heart attack. Because he has played bishop d5. Amazing stuff. I don't know how it's possible to be so creative in a chess game. Because what is the idea? It's always the same. So if I take queen takes, and again, of course, this isn't a plan because the bishop doesn't exist. But the thing is that he is attacking the rook and the knight at the same time. So here he gave up 3 points, but he will receive back 3 points, but with an advantage. The king is on the center and the pawn structure is completely broken. So this is terrible for black. Of course, if you put on a computer, he will say that white is slightly better. But for humans, in my opinion, this is impossible. So here, Mikhail Tal has played rook a7 because, yes, he was afraid to play that position. It's very complicated for a human. So this will continue with Fischer trying again to create problems. And how can we do that? Of course, first we need to take back the knight. And after pawn takes, because, well, right now Bobby Fischer is winning by 2 points and we need to recover the material. So pawn takes knight, and after that, bishop will take. And 1 island, 2 islands, 3 islands, 4 islands. So the pawn structure is completely broken. And white has 2. So talking about endgames, this cannot enter an endgame because Mikhail Tal will lose. About the material, the material is even. So that's not the problem for Mikhail Tal. We have another problem. this king is completely exposed. It isn't possible to castle kingside or queenside. So this will be a real battle, and black needs to create problems quickly. And after bishop takes f5, here, okay, he needs to develop, he needs to arrange activity for his pieces. So he has continued with rook e7 to prevent checks. And after bishop takes bishop, of course, queen takes bishop. And after that, bishop f4, creating pressure on the pawn of d6. Okay, now we need to do something again. So we need to protect the pawn, but how? Because, okay, I can do this kind of moves, but okay, this is passive because the diagonal is close, the rook is just defending, so we need to catch something dynamic, something interesting for black. And here, Mikhail Tal has played queen to c6. It's dynamic, it's interesting, and wins the knight. And the thing is that, okay, Bobby Fischer, it wasn't possible to prevent the loss of the knight, because if he had played, for example, b3, here probably the position would be better for black with rook to g6, because, okay, this kind of stuff isn't good for white, because it's passive, the knight is terrible, and after queen c6, okay, black is threatening nice things. So Fischer, it's better to give up material and continue creating problems. So right now, Fischer will lose a knight. And this is a completely violent battle of chess. And how Fischer can continue this position, knowing that he's going to lose the knight and will be losing by 3 points, 3 full points. Well, simple. Of course, he doesn't want to take this pawn because this finishes with checkmate. Important. Mikhail Tal is threatening to give checkmate. And even Fischer needs to attack. So queen to f3. Okay, do you want to take my piece? Take my piece, of course. Mikhail Tal isn't afraid of Bobby Fischer. So he has taken the piece. And of course, he has taken the piece, so it's time for Bobby Fischer to attack. Bishop takes on d6 with threatening on f7, attacking the rook, and don't forget the potential on the file. So here, Mikhail Tal needs to be careful. For example, things like that are terrible because this will finish on a checkmate. After, for example, this kind of stuff, queen c7, and it's over. No? This is checkmate. So it's pretty simple. So the rook cannot go away from this rank. So how can I continue that? Well, here, Mikhail Tal will find the only move that gives equality for black. And if you want, you can put on pause, because this is a defensive move, but very interesting. And in my opinion, it isn't easy to find this idea. So Mikhail Tal has played queen to c6. And the idea is simple. If bishop takes rook, queen takes queen. And after, for example, rook takes queen, here we can take the bishop and, okay, the material is even, but we have 2 pieces for a rook. So, okay, but 3 for 5 against 4. And our pawns aren't the best. But the thing is that this position is even. So it's completely playable for black. And the instinct of Mikhail Tal is fantastic, incredible. So after that, of course, Bobby Fischer will take a free knight. Because, okay, if you give me a free knight, I will take a free knight and I will be happy. So, of course, right now, Bobby Fischer is winning again. He was losing by 3 points. Now he is winning by 1 point. And this is always winning, losing, winning, losing, winning, losing. So now it's time for Mikhail Tal to continue with his ideas. And okay, I've lost a knight, but I need my material back. So let's go. Queen b6, giving a check and attacking the bishop. So After king to h1, let's take again our material, and we are winning again by 2 points. Oof. Very well. So this continued with queen to c6, giving check, and right now we just have one defensive move again. So Mikhail Tal will show that even a pretty aggressive player needs to know how to defend correctly. Because if you don't learn how to defend, and if you don't know the patterns, you will lose a lot of games, and you don't want that. So here, for example, Mikhail Tal has played rook to d7, but imagine if he had played king to d8. Here, this would finish on a checkmate, because rook from a to d1 would give check, and imagine, this move isn't possible. So first, I need to do this. Rook takes, rook, and checkmate. The kiss of the dead. So this doesn't work. So the only possible move is to play rook to d7. And after that, Fischer needs to do something. And right now, this position is already better for black, because in this position, the best continuation for white wouldn't be queen check, but rook to e1, creating pressure on the rook and trying to take on f7. The evaluation of the computers is that this position is even. So great game that those guys have done. So this continued with queen c6, and after rook, he will continue with rook check. So again, Mikhail Tal needs to do just one move, because, well, if he plays, for example, king to d8, this will finish with advantage for white, because, for example, rook can take on f7, because after rook takes, this is checkmate. A giant playing with white. So here, probably it would be necessary to play queen to a7, but after that, queen e6 is incredible, because, for example, if rook takes rook, queen check, and okay, this is over, because I can take the rook and the other one, so I will win 2 rooks. So this is pretty strong. So, of course, Mikhail Tal has seen that, and he has played bishop to e7. And now, Fischer doesn't have nothing to do. The position is completely clean for black. So here, he has played rook takes on f7 to try to see something. But after king takes, the game will be a victory for black. But just to show an alternative, imagine the rook is pinned. Imagine that you try to do something like that. This doesn't work, because I can always play queen to b7, threatening checkmate if the queen doesn't exchange. And if queen exchanges, I play rook takes, and I'm winning by 2 free pawns. So the position is winnable for black. So here he continued with rook takes f7 with the idea of king takes and queen check, giving, of course, if king plays to e8, the queen can take with checkmate, so we need to be careful. So this move is the only available move for black. And now he tried to play queen takes d7. Important again, if he tried this move, this doesn't work. Of course, the move isn't this one, because this is terrible. But king to g7, very precise, this idea. Because after queen takes d7, we have queen e5 closing the diagonal and solving all the problems, because white doesn't have any available check to win this game. So here, Fischer has taken the rook, and after that, Mikhail Tal is winning by 1 point. So he will win this game, playing queen to d6. Of course, Fischer doesn't want to take the queen, because without the queens, the game will be completely won for black, because of the presence of the bishop. Is a minor piece that the white doesn't have, and the bishop has more value than 2 pawns, for example, of course. So here he will continue with rook g6, and after pawn advances a5. What is the idea? Simple. If pawn takes, okay, this is playable for black too, but b takes and he will need to be careful with the pawn. So it's an alternative. So pawn advances, and okay, he is trying to see what Fischer wants to do. So Fischer has given a check, and of course, king to g7 to prevent more checks. This game will finish in 20 moves, but the continuation is just technique, because this is already won for black. So pawn takes, pawn advances, and right now Mikhail Tal guarantees a very big advantage because he will exchange the queen. So takes, rook on b6, and evaluating the material, white has two more pawns, but black has a bishop, and this bishop is more valuable than the pawns. So here they will continue like that, centralizing first the king. Don't forget, this is important, for example, for the beginners and the players that want to improve the middle game. You need to activate your king on the end games. So they are centralizing first the kings, and now he gave some mobility for the bishop. He is attacking the b2 pawn, and after rook defense, of course, if this pawn advanced, the bishop would play, for example, to c3 is an idea. So here he defended, and now black is always improving the position. So bishop pawn advances, very interesting, because he wants to create problems, because if he exchanges, okay, the position is won again for black, but what is the difference? If he advances, this pawn is fixed on dark square, and my bishop is from the dark squares. So this means that this rook will be a prisoner in this rank. So this is very precise. So Mikhail Tal was a good endgame player too. So this continued like that. And of course, after bishop takes, of course, Fischer doesn't have nothing to play, because, for example, if he tries to play rook to g2, well, rook f1, and I can always do this kind of stuff. So this pawn is mine, so the position is completely won. So this continues like that, and now, well, we don't need to evaluate much more, because this game is completely won. So incredible game by Fischer and Mikhail Tal. But we still need to do one more thing. So we've already seen this battle, this completely lethal battle between Bobby Fischer and Mikhail Tal in 1959. But now I want to show you the precision of this game. So of course I will use the computer of chess.com, the evaluation of the chess.com, and let's see if this was a well-played game or not. Don't forget, this was a very abstract game, and those games are very complicated to play for humans. So let's go. So about the evaluation, we are seeing with the stockfish on the maximum level. So this can yeah, in 1 minute, I think, to do the evaluation, and we will see right now. But I think Stockfish has 4,000 of rating. I don't know, but it's a very high level. So I'm pushing here the configurations. So maximum, all the lines, number of lines 5, Stockfish 16. Okay, let's see. So review. And I don't know if I need to refresh, but I think I don't need to. Look at this, 89% for Bobby Fischer and almost 95% for Mikhail Tal. Two brilliant moves for Bobby Fischer. First one, knight f5, takes f5. Second one, bishop d5. And for black, queen c6. Brilliant. So we have analyzed the game with 3 brilliant moves. And the player who has done most brilliant moves has lost the game. So, and talking about the rating, the estimated rating, so Fischer has played for 2550 and Mikhail Tal 28 hundreds of rating. So pretty high. So very strong game by two of the best players that ever played chess. So if for today is all. If you have any suggestion about analysis of games or another teams, please tell me something on the comments or by chess.com. And I hope to see you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you tomorrow at the same hour, because I do content every day about chess. If you aren't subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe, push the like button, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.